All right, let's talk about something that pretty much every single small business has, but almost no one ever really thinks about. I'm talking about your Wi-Fi. Yeah, that little plastic box blinking in the corner. You probably figure, hey, it came from the internet company, it must be good enough, right? But what if I told you that simple little box is actually a hidden liability, that it's quietly costing you time, customer trust, and yeah, even actual revenue? Well, today we're going to dig into that.
And that really brings us to the core question of this whole explainer. Is your Wi-Fi an asset that helps your business run, or is it actually a liability, secretly holding you back? By the time we're done here, you're going to have a crystal clear answer for your own business.
So, here's our game plan. First, we're going to uncover the hidden costs, the stuff you don't even realize you're paying for. Then, we'll get super specific with 7 warning signs you need to watch out for. After that, we'll break down what business grade really means. And don't worry, no confusing tech speak, I promise. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with a practical 6-step plan you can actually use to get this sorted.
Okay, let's dive into Section 1, the hidden cost. You see, the root of the problem is actually pretty simple. That router you use at home, it was designed for a living room. It was not designed for an office. And believe me, the demands are just worlds apart.
And this really paints the picture perfectly. Just look at the difference. Over on the left, you've got a typical home setup. A handful of devices, maybe a movie streaming. It's pretty chill. But then, you look at the right. That's your business. We're talking dozens of devices, employee laptops, your payment system, printers, security cameras, customer phones. They're all fighting for the same slice of Wi-Fi. It's basically a constant stress test, and a home router just wasn't built for that kind of battle.
And that's the key takeaway right there. The exact same plastic box that works just fine for watching Netflix on your couch, well, in an office, it becomes a massive bottleneck and a huge liability. We're not just talking about slow internet here. It's creating security holes and turning into a real risk for your business.
So how does this failure actually, show up in your day-to-day work? That brings us right into Section 2, the 7 warning signs. These are the sneaky, quiet ways that Little Router is failing your business right now.
Yup, it really comes down to 7 key failure points. 7 ways your network is pretty much actively working against you. Let's break them down. Okay, let's hit the big ones here. First up, you've got inconsistent coverage. The dead zones. That one back office where calls always drop. Then there's the whole shared password thing. Just think about it for a sec. An employee leaves, do they still have your Wi-Fi password? That's a massive security hole right there. And this one's a classic, no priority for critical work. So your super important sales call starts getting all choppy because someone in marketing is uploading a giant video file. Ugh! And maybe the most dangerous, lumping your guests and all your private business devices onto the same network. I mean, that's basically like leaving the front door of your office wide open.
And this just sums it all up, doesn't it? That dreaded phrase, "Can you hear me now?" Every single time you or one of your employees has to say that on a sales call or a support call, you're not just wasting time. You are actively eroding your customers' confidence in your business.
So when you add all of these little things up, the impact on the business is actually huge. This isn't just about being annoyed. We're talking about real, bottom-line costs. Lost productivity from all those glitches, the very real risk of a security incident, damaging the trust you've built with your customers. You could even fail a compliance audit just because you have no idea who's been on your network.
Okay, enough of the doom and gloom, right? Let's talk about the solution. In our next section, we are going to break down exactly what business-grade Wi-Fi even is. And I promise, we're going to do it without all the confusing tech jargon. So here it is, plain and simple. Business-grade Wi-Fi is a system, not just a single box. Think about it less like one light bulb trying to light up a whole room, and more like a complete, professionally installed lighting system for your entire office. It's built for tons of devices and lots of people, and it really just boils down to 3 key things: reliability, security, and control. And this chart just lays it all out so clearly. Instead of one shared password that who knows who has, you get per-user logins. That means accountability. Instead of those frustrating dead zones, you get a mesh system that gives you seamless coverage everywhere. Instead of a total free-for-all where everything fights for speed, your critical apps, like your payment system or those video calls, always get priority. And this one is so important. Guests are put on a completely separate, isolated network. They can't touch your sensitive business data. It's a fundamental upgrade in literally every single category.
Now, all of this brings us to our final and honestly most important section, your 6-step upgrade plan. And look, don't worry, this is not some massive, complicated IT project. This is a practical, step-by-step path forward that any business owner can follow.
So here's the blueprint. It really just breaks down into 3 simple phases. First, you build the foundation. That means you map out what you need, figure out the problem spots, and deploy a mesh system to get rid of those dead zones for good. Second is all about control and access. This is where you turn on identity-based Wi-Fi so everyone gets their own login, and you set policies so your most important apps get priority. And finally, phase 3 is protection. You enable advanced security, and you build in some resilience, maybe with a backup connection. See? It's a totally logical progression. Foundation, then control, then protection.
All right, before we wrap up, let's tackle some of those common myths that hold people back. You might be thinking, we're too small to be a target. But the truth is, automated attacks don't care about your size. They just care about what's easy to break into. Or how about this one? My antivirus software has me covered. Well, that's kind of like waiting for the burglar to be standing in your living room before you do anything about it. A secure network is your locked front door. And the biggest myth of all? Per-user Wi-Fi is just too complicated. Honestly, with the systems available today, if you can add a new employee to your email list, you can absolutely do this.
Let's end on this, because this is really the ultimate takeaway from our entire discussion. Business-grade Wi-Fi is not some luxury item for giant corporations. For a small business, it is the simplest, most direct way to protect your most valuable assets, your team's time, your customers' trust, and of course, your hard-earned revenue.
So, I'll leave you with just one final question to think about. After everything we've talked about today, all the dropped calls, the security risks, the lost productivity, just take a quiet moment and ask yourself, what is my current Wi-Fi really costing my business?